Welcome to the show. I'm Jaded Steve.
Hey!
Alright, let's get to it. Dynamic review time. And My Hero Academia. It's still anybody's game. And as the third match continues with an endurance battle between Todoroki and Tetsu. And Actor Stu. Ukyo discovers how the Kingdom of Science has been operating and has a one-on-one conversation over the phone with Senku. And Yashahime, Princess Half-Demon. Towa Hiraguchi learns about an incident that took place decades ago involving a half-demon named Inuyasha and a priestess named Kagome. And Food Wars. Soma's cooking was exemplary, but Akira unveils his masterpiece. Its flavor, sublime. Surely Soma can still pull off a win, but how? On Black Clover. Asa hits a wall in his training, while Marilona puts Yami through the ringer. A group of resistance members attempts to escape the Spade Kingdom. Under disputing, Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan formed the Atatsuki to realize their dreams of bringing peace to the Hidden Moon. And the second Titan, no time is left to threaten to escape. The scouts retreat on the airship. Determined to make them pay for trampling on her home, Gaby chases after them with gun in hand. And Dragon Ball Super. The third universe activates its secret final weapon. The seventh universe will need to combine all of their strength if they hope to defeat this quadruple fused foe. And that is your tonight review. You better miss out to the rest of the show.
Alrighty, how you doing, everybody? And let's see. Oh yeah, let's get on with the wrestling portion of this and give you the recap of what happened last night. As everything took into it, let's go to AEW Dynamite Saturday Night. And our first match was Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Hangman Page. And the winner of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's see, we got, or did I skip one? Nope, didn't skip. Thank you. And the winner of that, believe it or not, was Hangman Page via pinfall. We also had Matt Sydal versus Dante. Thank you for doing that. Let's skip the commercial and get to the results. Okay. I love it when things go haywire. Just means we're on our toes. Okay, Matt Sydal took on Dante Martin. It was Matt Sydal winning that one via pinfall. And we had Ethan Page with Scorpio Sky versus Bear Bronson with Bear Boulder. And shockingly, Ethan Page won that one. He, following that, cut a promo saying that he was going to be the nail in Darby Allin's coffin. We'll see about that. Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy took on the Bunny and the Blade. And the winner of the match was Chris Statlander via pinfall. The post-match, well, the Blade and Angelico and Jack Evans all beat up Orange Cassidy. The reason why it was Orange Cassidy alone was because the members of the Best Friends were out of town due to one of them having neck surgery. Wow. All right. We had Kenny Omega, the champion, with the evil Don Callis and the Good Brothers versus Jungle Boy with Jurassic Express for the AEW World Championship. And believe me, this was wild. Callis went to the broadcast booth. The Good Brothers were tossed out. Thank you, Paul Turner. And several times, Jungle Boy had Kenny almost pinned for that AEW World Title, but again, Kenny Omega slips by and wins it. But I think Kenny Omega and, to effect, Don Callis
That's the fun part. Poor network connection with my foot. Okay, just don't be after call. That's cool. Come on. Steve's not online. That's weird. He's clearly online. Okay. Technical difficulties. The best kind of difficulties. Come on, Steven.
Yeah, Steve, this is Gilbert Gottfried saying you couldn't even wipe my ass, let alone do a half-decent imitation of me. Okay?
Sorry.
Apparently, Steve's internet crapped out on him.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Can't control that, I guess.
True. It says he's online, but it also says he's not
Do
online.
you want black beans in your corn?
No.
Chrissy?
I will try it.
I'll try it. I think you
Here we go.
I'm thinking they'd help the team.
Welcome back.
Great, thanks.
It's not going to go your way a lot,
That's not.
and it hasn't been going my way. But luckily, we get to show up tomorrow and play another game, and I couldn't be more excited for it.
It's still your segment,
For
Steve.
them, he's growing up right in front of our eyes.
Okay.
Maturation of the
Just give it to you fast.
So he gets better
Ethan
every
Page
time.
with Scorpio Sky versus Bear Bronson. Bear Boulder. Ethan Page won that one via pinfall. Chris Stanley, Orange
TV's a
Cassidy.
little loud.
930, please. 930.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go at a fast pace here.
especially since we're having
Okay.
inside.
Let's see. Let's go again. Piles Hobbs took on Hangman Page. Hangman Page surprisingly won with that one. And it kind of looks like Team Taz is a team that has got some major dysfunctions. He may want to talk to a couple of his team prides before Everything else rotten goes wrong. Matt Sydal took on Dante Martin. Matt Sydal took a win on that. And we also had Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, taking on Bear Bronson with Bear Boulder. Actually, Ethan Page took on Bear Bronson. And won, surprisingly, with a low blow. And he hit Ego's Edge for the 1-2-3. We had Chris Statlander with Orange Cassidy taking on the Bunny with the Blade in women's competition. Chris Statlander won that one. Cassidy, of course, celebrated with Statlander, but he got hit by the Blade, Angelico, and Jack Evans, and all hell broke loose. All right. Then we had Jungle Boy taking on Kenny Omega in the main event, and this literally went beyond words. Mom, we're on the air.
She would never want Jake hurt. But detectives are taking
just a
We're gonna
moment,
get
please.
a copyright strike, Ma.
930. 930, Mom. 930.
Jacob out of the house.
We're gonna get copyright strike if you don't.
There, she got it. I think she got the massage right there. Kenny Omega beat Jungle Boy, but for a while, it looked like Kenny Omega was about to become a collector minus the AEW big eventage. And as we told you on that other Last Call Cafe, there was a nice little post-game speech with nice words from oh boy, I forgot who it was. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. No, that's ramen. Eddie Kingston. Thank you, Brains. Came back after all. Okay. As we told you on our other show, we had some more releases. In fact, these releases are hurting the lead hoss. Of course, we all talk about Vince McMahon, because this came from their recent hire, the new WWE president, Nick Khan. And here are the 14 superstars that were given the axe. Killian Dane, Austin Gray, Tino Sabatelli, Marina Shafir, Arturo Ruas, Kurt Stallion, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, Eva Rise, which is Chase Parker, and Matt Martell, Tony Nese, Arya Davari, and the Bollywood Boys, Sunny and Samir Singh. Right now, there are a lot of people, a lot of scribes saying that these releases are are in a way burning up rumors of a possible WWE sale, but to who? So stay tuned. This is definitely going to be one story we're going to follow right to the end. Let's see what else here. Bill Apter, who's not one to mince many words, as one of the former writers for Pro Wrestling Illustrated, well, on a recent episode of the Wrestling Inc. Daily, managing editor Nick Hausman sat down with pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter, reflecting on the WWE Championship Hell in a Cell match between Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. He said, quote, "I saw his back. It looked like lashes from Lashley, but Bobby Lashley, another guy who has improved so much just in his appearance, because when you talk about a sports champion, he looks that part perfectly. Drew McIntyre is a consummate athlete in that ring as well, and Lashley, although he was beaten up a lot in that match, and it was manager interference, and a lot of people don't think MVP could still handle anything like that, but he did. He did what he needed to do, but the managerial interference was just right in that match to let Drew McIntyre lose, but still with an asterisk, while Adam Pearce can come back and say, you know what, we're going to do one more for you, Drew, but this time MVP is banned from ringside. Hosman and Apter spoke before it was made clear on Raw that McIntyre could not challenge for the WWE Championship as long as Lashley is champion. Hosman asked Apter what he would do with McIntyre with that stipulation. And, Apter suggested, you know what I would do? Send him to SmackDown. He'd be spectacular in Money in the Bank, and people are going to root for him. They don't like what happened to him at Hell in a Cell, and Lashley, with a questionable win, when he got up that ramp and they raised his hand when he had the belt, he still looked like a hell of a champion. He looks like a boxer or MMA fighter. He put on a very good performance. There's been many mixed reports on Brock Lesnar's return to WWE after he gave his thoughts on a potential Lesnar-Lashley match. Quote, it's something that will draw very well. I'm talking sports-wise, but there are a lot of big matches I noticed that Brock chokes. He doesn't do as well as he should. What's Paul Heyman going to do? I think that at this point, Roman Reigns would probably be my focal point. I think Brock would come in and be like, hey, what do you need this guy for? Just a lot of different scenarios could go on. So that's incredible insight from Bill Apter on what led to what he thought of Brock Lesnar. He's not a team player, in other words. Okay, one of those stars that got the axe, Peyton Royce, discussed the meeting she had with Vince McMahon after WWE split up the Iconics in September of 2020. Royce described the meeting as disastrous and joked that it may have ultimately led her losing her job with the WWE. Quote, I had it in my head what I wanted to say, but he brushed it off very quickly and I went, crap, end quote. I had an idea that I wanted to present, and he wanted to discuss other ideas, but I didn't have any other ideas. This is what I wanted to talk about and put my time and effort into. Vince said, what do you do for fun? Me being me, the introvert and the homebody that I am, I had to let him know that I like to sit on the couch with my dogs and watch TV. Royce revealed that her answer was met with a silent stare. She then apologized for being boring and hemmed off for days. Vince just stared at me, and in my head I'm like, make something up. And I could make anything up. Nothing was coming out. I'm not a liar. I feel like he could have seen right through that. I basically said to him, I'm sorry, I'm boring. I just like to be home on my off days. I didn't contribute much during that, unfortunately. That's probably why I lost my job. Both Royce and Kay were released from WWE in April of this year. In an appearance on Busted Open Radio last month, the duo announced their plans to continue to wrestle together as a tag team while expressing interest in both AEW and Impact Wrestling. Royce attended AEW Double or Nothing, supporting her husband, Shawn Spears. Earlier this week, Royce and Kay filed to trademark the Inspiration, a potential new name for the tag team, which tells me, Brain, that Tony Khan may want to have a nice little chat with them. We'll just have to wait and see. Speaking of AEW, let's give you an updated match for Monday's AEW Dark Elevation, which you can see on the AEW YouTube channel Monday nights. Thunder Rosa taking on Catalina Perez. Penta El Zero Medio and Eddie Kingston with Alex Aberrantes versus the Hybrid 2. Valentina Rossi versus Penelope Ford. JD Drake and Ryan Nemeth with the Wingmen versus the Gun Club. Serpentico with Dr. Luther taking on Brian Cage with Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook. That's Taz's son, by the way. Wheeler Utah versus Carl Anderson with Doc Gallows and the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks. Hiraku Shida versus Reika Tahaka. Brock Anderson, Lee Johnson, and Dustin Rhodes with Arn Anderson taking on Adrian Alanis, Liam Gray, and Justin Carino. Aaron Rook and Jake Logan versus the Varsity Blondes with Julia Hart. Killian King versus Rio. The Acclaim taking on PB Smooth and Matt Justice. The Blade with the Bunny taking on Chuck Taylor. And Private Party and Matt Hardy taking on Dark Order's Alex Reynolds, Alan Five Angels, and Boom Boom Colt Cabana. And that'll be on Monday, folks, on the AEW YouTube channel. Alrighty. Let's go for one more little tweak we can. We got time? Yes, we do. Vince McMahon, believe it or not, had a little downtime. So he went to see Dave Chappelle's comedy act. In fact, former WWE star JTG noted that McMahon is a big fan of Chappelle's work. And he told a little story. He said, when we first came out, the reason that we were brought out was because Vince McMahon loved Dave Chappelle. Chappelle's show, even. We were doing a lot of those type of skits like Chappelle did. We did those skits, and we had great chemistry on screen because we were friends. We knew each other without speaking. That was the relationship that Chad and I had. Sometime we could look at each other, and we'd be in a situation. We'd look at each other and knew what each other was thinking. We'd make eye contact and bust out laughing sometimes because I knew what he was thinking. McMahon's most recent in-person WWE appearance was on April 10th for Night 1 of WrestleMania 37. And, Brain, that is going to wrap it up for our show. And we'll see everybody next Sunday right here or on any days when this drops.
That's right.
So for the Brain, I'm the Baxman. We'll see you next week.
Hit him with the credits.
This has been a presentation of Brainwave Productions in association with Mystifying Creativity Productions for Spreaker.com. We'll see you next week.
Bro!